Hello, my name is David Gaitan, and this is my wife,
Angelina Gaitan.
and we'd like to share with you our story of our adoption journey. So our story starts about 6 years ago. 6 years ago when we got married. We knew that we wanted to grow our family. We just didn't know how God was going to call us to do that. So I talked to Angelina and said, well, what about adoption? And her question or answer back to me was, I don't know that I could love a child that isn't biologically mine.
After much prayer and talking with David, we decided that adoption was going to be the road for us. Looking back now and thinking about it, it was never a question if I was going to love my children. These were my children, and this is our family.
So our caseworker had told us about the Agape Connections, and what that is a picnic or a meeting for parents who are already licensed to the state. We arrived to the location, and as we pulled up, we saw some kids on the playground. And the first one that I saw was an older boy, about 3 or 4, and I told Angie, I'm like, look, there's a little boy, because I didn't want to set my heart on a younger child, because I didn't know if there would be any kids of that age. And when we pulled up, there were kids of all ages. I mean, from 18 months to probably 16, 17 years old. And Angelina actually had spotted another child who was much younger than the child that I saw.
I looked at the door, one of the ladies was carrying a baby, and he looked maybe about 1.5 years or so. Our caseworker, who ended up having that little baby, was holding him, and she started scanning the room, and she tells him, okay, God, help me out, where are his parents? And she spots David, and she's like, okay, there's your daddy.
We were told that he has a brother and a sister.
Who were there at the event as well.
Yeah, and when me and Angie started this whole process, I asked her, I said, how many kids are we looking to adopt? And she's like, I don't know, 3, maybe 4. And so that was kind of the 3, maybe 4 was our number. And so when we met with the kids caseworkers, she informed us that they were 3 whose rights had been already terminated of their parents, and that there could possibly be a 4th child that would join them. And so because we were licensed to foster and adopt, that made us available to be first in line, I guess, to adopt these kids, because our youngest, who did join them and we adopted later, was still in the fostering setting.
We got to spend most of the day with them, and we played with them. We had lunch, we picked out books.
Took them to the bathroom.
Yeah. We learned what it was like to be parents of multiple children in a couple of hours.
So when we were done with the event, our kiddos were taken away. We went to our car and we sat there for maybe 20, 30 minutes and just kind of
cried and cried. And it was very heartbreaking for us, because we knew we were leaving this event, and these were our children already. I mean, our question was always to everybody, how do you know? Does the sky open up and there's a light that shines and tells you these are your kids? And no, you just know.
We were always told that you would know when you know.
And we knew.
We knew.
We knew those were our babies, and we had to do something to get them home. So we were in the car and we emailed
our letter of intent.
Our letter of intent to the caseworker. And so a couple weeks later, we got the call that they were coming home, and the first 3 arrived on a Thursday afternoon, and they've been home since. That's their home. Those are our children. About 10 days later, our baby showed up.
It's funny because when we started, we prayed for these kids before we even knew them. So to pray for an untangible thing, sometimes it's kind of difficult. The end result is going to be whatever God wants. Mm-hmm. But once we had them home, we knew that we had been praying for them for a good 2 years,
2 years
before they came home. Through the Agape Ranch, they have helped over 40 children match up with their forever homes.
And we've been truly blessed with everything that they were able to do for us and for the other adopted children out there.
So please pray about what you can give to help them out. They really are a blessing to our community.